everyone, my name is Ellen and today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to play Closer by the Chainsmokers featuring Halsey on the guitar, so stay tuned if this is something that you want to learn. I was doing just fine before I met. So to play this song in the same key as the original version, you will need a capo on your first fret. If you don't have one, that's okay, you can play this whole song without one. It'll just be a half step lower than the original song. And before I go any further, I also just wanted to take a moment to say that this tutorial is sponsored by my good friend Leo over at Wooden Capos. He hand makes all of his capos. They are beautiful, and this is actually what I'll be using in my tutorial today. I've talked about him a lot before because you guys know that I really believe in his company and what he's doing. And his capos work just like any other plastic capo, but they're even more beautiful because they're made of wood and you can choose what kind of wood you want, and he'll even engrave it for you. For instance, I have my Forever Faithful butterfly logo, and so you can personalize your capo. So make sure to check out all his links that I'll put in my description box below if you're interested in purchasing one of these beautiful capos for yourself. But now back to the tutorial. This song is going to be really great for beginners because there's only 3 chords you need to know to play the entire song, and they're pretty easy to transition between. So let's go ahead and go over what chords you need to know. Okay, so now let's go over the 3 chords you need to know for this song. The first one is Cadd9, which looks like this and sounds like this. After that, you need to know D, which looks like this and sounds like this. And then the last chord you need to know is E7, which looks like this and sounds like this. And those are the only chords you need to know for this song. Now once you have those chord shapes memorized, you should practice transitioning between them because the entire song does follow the same chord progression, which is Cadd9, D, E7, and then back to D. So try practicing those transitions. And one piece of advice I have is that if you're finding it hard to transition between the Cadd9 and the D, and then again between the E7 and the D, one thing that you can do that sounds very similar but makes it a ton easier is instead of the D chord, you can actually play a D suspended 4 chord, which just leaves your pinky right here next to your ring finger. And if you do that, then you don't have to move your ring finger or your pinky for the entire song, and it just becomes a lot easier to transition because you only have to move your first 2 fingers between all 3 chords. So now you have Cadd9, D suspended 4, E7, D suspended 4. So just in case it's a little bit hard for you to do those transitions, that's a little piece of advice that I have that'll make it a little bit easier on you. Alright, but once you have those transitions under your belt, then let's go ahead and move on to some strumming patterns that you can use with this song. So the first strumming pattern is the one I always start with. It's so easy and you actually do use it throughout the song itself. All you're going to do is you're going to play with your right hand 1 downstroke for every chord. So we have Cadd9, D, E7, and you can see I'm playing all of those with a downstroke just 1 time on the beat. It's very simple. So let's go ahead and do that together. Put your Cadd9 chord, because that's the first one in the song, and you're just going to play it with a 1 downstroke. Switch to D, 1 downstroke. Switch to E7, back to D. And now before we go further in the tutorial, I just wanted to emphasize that rhythm is going to be really important in this song. Because there are only 3 chords throughout it, the rhythm is what gives it more of a beat. So let's go ahead and work on it by counting to 4. So when you count to 4, the important thing to remember in this song is that you're not switching on the first beat and the third beat like a normal beat song, but instead it's going to be a little bit of an offbeat rhythm. So when you count to 4, what we're going to do is add and in between each of our numbers. So we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And so now where you want to switch on those chords is going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you can see there that you're actually switching on the offbeat. So it's a little bit hard to get that rhythm down, especially if you're new to guitar and new to music. So let's try that again. We have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, one more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. From there, you just got to add in the other chord progressions, and it's the same rhythm. So we have Cadd9, 2 and 3 and 4 and E minor 7 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? And then once you internalize that rhythm, it's going to be so easy to play the rest of these strumming patterns that I have to show you. But before we move on to the next strumming pattern, let's go ahead and see where we would use this in the song and how it would sound. So the intro is just going to be 1 downstroke, exactly that same rhythm we just practiced. Okay? And the other place in this song that you're going to be using this 1 downstroke rhythm is going to be during the choruses. So baby, pull me closer in the backseat of your Rover that I know you can afford. Write that tattoo on your shoulder, pull the sheets right off the corner of the mattress that you stole from your roommate back in Boulder. We ain't ever getting older. And just remember that if this rhythm is a little bit hard for you to play and sing at the same time, it just takes practice. Because it is an offbeat rhythm, it doesn't come as naturally as other rhythms might. So go ahead and just practice that at your own pace. And then when you're ready, we'll go ahead and continue and I'll show you the next strumming pattern. So now once you have that rhythm down with the first strumming pattern, the second strumming pattern isn't that much harder. What we're going to be doing now is adding a couple of downstrokes. So again, we have our Cadd9 chord on because that's the first chord in the song, and you're just going to play that down once. And then right afterwards, you want to kind of mute the strings by taking the side of your right hand or your playing hand and then stopping the strings. So you have play, stop, play, stop. Okay? And then you want to go to your D chord because that's the next chord in the song. And this time we're going to be strumming it down twice and then giving it another mute. Down, down, mute. So far we have Cadd9, mute, D, down, down, mute. And then again you're going to play E minor 7, and this time you're just going to play it once, mute. And then on the second D, you want to play it 3 times followed by a mute. Down, 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 mute. So that's the whole pattern. You just have to get used to the rhythm and playing it together. So let's do it again. We have C, mute, D, D, mute, E minor, mute. 1, 2, 3. So the important thing to remember is that after you play all these chords, you want to try to mute the strings just to give it more of that rhythm that the original song has. And then the other thing to remember is that Cadd9 and E minor 7 are always going to be played just with 1 downstroke. And then the D is what switches. And the D is going to switch between strumming it twice on the first D and then 3 times on the second D. So let's pretend this whole thing is a round. The whole verse is going to go like this. Cadd9 once, mute, and then you play D twice, mute. Then you play E minor 7 once, mute, and then D 3 times, mute. So So let's put it in rhythm, see what that sounds like. We've got If it's getting confusing remembering which D to play twice and which D to play 3 times, you can play the whole song with just playing the D 3 times. So that'll sound more like this. So if that's a little easier for you to play, the rhythm is very similar, then go ahead and play it that way. But if you want it to be more accurate like the song, then you want to switch off in your D chords between strumming it twice and strumming it 3 times. So one last time, let's go through this strumming pattern. We have 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. And now let's jump into the last strumming pattern. Here it is, and I know you can see that it's kind of a jump from the other 2 patterns, but it's very intuitive once you break it in half like we're gonna do. So let's just focus on the first half of the strumming pattern. It's just down, 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 up. So if you put your Cadd9 chord on, that's the first chord in the song, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna strum 1 downstroke on every beat. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on that last beat, we're gonna do 4 and. So kind of keep in mind that rhythm we had practiced earlier. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So let's try that again without me counting the beats. We have down, 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 up, down, 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 up. And that's the first half of the pattern. So now we just have to move on to our D chord and then do the second half of the pattern, which is down, up, down, 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 up. So go ahead and put your D chord on and practice this with me. We have down, up, down, 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 up. One more time. Down, up, down, 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 up. And then again, if you like to think about it in rhythm, I'll count the rhythm for you. It's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So now we're playing a lot more of those off beats. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Alright, so now if you string that to the end of our Cadd9 chord and the first half of this pattern, we can do the whole thing together and it'll sound like this. Down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up. So again, that's down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up. And then once you get that rhythm, it's going to be the same thing, except now you're going to go from E minor 7 to D. So let's try that. E minor 7 is going to take the place of Cadd9, and it's the same rhythm, so we have down, 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 up. And then you already know this part, we're going to switch to D and play the rest of the strumming pattern. Down, up, down, 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 up. So let's try that again. We have E minor 7. So now you just want to string everything together. We're going to go from Cadd9 to D, and then from E minor 7 back to D. Okay, and then all you want to do now is speed it up a little bit until you can play it at tempo. And I think the best place to use this in your cover would be during the pre-chorus. And then one last thing you can do to add to this pattern if you want to dress it up just a little bit is to add in a palm mute, and that will just kind of distinguish the rhythm a little bit more. So with a palm mute it'll sound like this. And all I'm doing to play that is I'm letting the side of my playing hand rest right here on the strings as I strum them, so it's not letting them ring as much. And when you do that, then it sounds really cool because all of the down strums will be muted and all of the up strums will be ringing because you'll let your hand go, and it'll just sound really cool if you want to give it a try. And then that's all you need to know to play this song. I kid you not, it's only 3 chords paired with 3 strumming patterns, and that's all you need for the whole song. So let's go ahead and play through the whole song. I will list right above me what strumming pattern I'm using for which part of the song. And yeah, let's go ahead and play through Closer by the Chainsmokers. Good luck. It was nice to meet you, but I never see you again. Now it breaks your heart. Moved to the city and I wrote down water. 4 years no calls, now you're looking pretty in a hotel bar, and I can't stop. No, I can't stop. So baby, pull me closer in the backseat of your Rover that I know you can't afford. Write that tattoo on your shoulder. Pull the sheets right off the corner of the mattress that you stole from your roommate back in Boulder. Ain't ever getting older. The day I met you, I forget just why I left you insane. Stay and play that Blink 182 song. I repeat to death in Tucson, okay? Now it breaks your heart. Moved to the city and I wrote down boring. 4 years no calls, and now I'm looking pretty in a hotel bar, and I can't stop. Shoulder. Thank you guys so much for watching this tutorial. I hope that it helped you, even if it was just a little bit. If you liked this video, please make sure to give it a like down below, as well as subscribe to my channel. That way you know every single time I upload a new video for you guys. And don't forget to check out some of my playlists if you are still in the mood to play some guitar. My basic tutorials include songs that are easy to learn, just like this one, and my detailed tutorials can sometimes go in a little more detail, so they have like picking patterns and maybe some more barred chords and things like that. So if you're a little bit more advanced, then maybe check that one out. And then my TMT tutorials are just where I give you tips and tricks on how to take care of your guitar and get better at different skills on the guitar. So make sure to click on any of those links if you want to, as well as follow me on any of my social media sites. This is where I do a lot of polls and giveaways and just fun stuff like that, so feel free to follow me on any of those if you would like to. Again, thank you so much to Leo from Wooden Capos for sponsoring this video. Please make sure to check out his links in the description below if you are interested in buying one of these capos for yourself. And yeah, I guess that concludes everything. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video coming soon. Bye!